Alright, so today we're going to be building a no-till garden out here in our little plot. And this is going to be real simple. We're just going to be putting a lasagna style down with some cardboard, a little bit of manure that we got from a local farmer, some of the dirt from our hills that we've got here, and some straw. And it's real cheap, real easy. We've got minimal investment in this. I mean, you know, most of it's recycled product. We didn't pay anything for the manure. It was given to us. All we had to do was shovel it, and then we can get on that. So we're going to start out by laying some cardboard down on the ground in this area. And again, this is a very heavily weeded area, or weed area. It's low traffic though in our yard, so it's got direct sun all day long. We've already tried doing a no-till potato bed here with some, you know, just straw, manure, and again, this was not tilled up. This is just, you know, some basic waste, and throw our potatoes down in there, cover them up. As they start to come up, we'll start hilling them up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start putting some cardboard down. Some straw on top of this. So we're going to cover this area just with a thin layer of straw, and then we're going to come back with our next process, which is going to be laying the manure down, and then we're going to lay our soil down, and then we're going to cover it again with a little bit more straw. So unload all of this, or not all of this, but quite a bit of this onto the top of this. So we're going to give ourselves a good fertilizer. Now, there's 100 people that are going to say that you do this or do that. You know, this is just our way of doing it. We're not tilling the ground up. We've only been on this property for a couple months. So we're trying to get vegetables in the ground really fast, or maybe not in the ground really fast, but at least get something where we've got a decent base. Yes, we could put tarps over the surface for 3 or 4 months, you know, cooking the soil and killing all of the stuff underneath of it. But right now, again, we're just trying to get a garden as cheap as possible and in the ground as fast as possible so that we can take full advantage of the growing season. So I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of different opinions on, you know, which way you should go. And yet there's no wrong way. All right, everybody's going to have their own way, their own little niche of how they would do it or how they want to do it. And this is just a building block for you guys to, you know, maybe give it a try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This hay could seed out and I could end up with a bunch of tall grass. But I'm going to take the chance and see what happens. So gardening's full of mistakes, you know. Take it from the words of Bob Ross, you know, happy little mistakes, that's it. Or happy little accidents, that's what it is. So let's make some happy accidents and see what we can come up with. Anybody that's been in southern Alabama knows that the soil here isn't the best for gardening You got this red dirt and clay all over the place, and it's not, you know, a prime soil. So what this is here, this was a pile of logs that was sitting for, I couldn't tell you how long. Again, like I said, we've only been here a couple months, but this was all covered in vines and stuff like that, and we burned it back and we discovered what was under here. Now in here, these logs are really starting to break apart. So that makes a really good mulch. So what we did is we built a big fire on top of this. Now that ash is gonna give us that nitrogen that we really need for our plants to grow. You can see that this isn't red. It does have a sand content to it because we are, you know, we're about 2 hours from the coast or so. So it's, you know, trying to get that perfect soil mixture is really difficult, and to help increase your yield. So we're gonna take advantage of this and use it. If you've got something like that, you know, by all means use it. If you've got a little burn pit that you and your wife sit beside and burn logs out of, try and keep other material out of it. Take that ash and sprinkle it on your garden. It's good for it. Take your eggshells, rinse them off, crush them up, throw them on your garden. Use the things that you have available to you to recycle, to really give your garden that boost. There's so much that you can do for it just by little things. It's not too far out of the way, but it's really going to show you in the end what you can really do. So we're going to start digging this and get some dirt on that pile. So you guys stick around, and here we go. Soil now. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and moisten this all out. We've got probably about 12 wheelbarrows of dirt on top of this. You want to get to where you're about, I don't know, 2-3 inches of deep soil. The more you can do, the better. We're not trying to get real deep here, so let's get this all moistened out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with a tarp for a couple weeks and let this soil start to cook a little bit and bake. That way that greenery that was on the base when we started this, you know, because we didn't weed, we didn't till. This is a complete no-till garden, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, get this process started, and then we'll get back with you and let this start cooking, guys. All right. See if I can't get Angie wet.
Just a little bit.